Welcome back, learner. Myself, Dr. Vinita Singh, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, RGSC, Banaras Hindu University, with the course Rudimentary Principles and Practices of Managerial Economics, Module 6, Lecture number 30, continuing with the Production and Theory of Production. In today's session, we are going to discuss in detail the various types of economies and diseconomies. The scale of production basically refers to the size or volume of production, large or small scale, at any organization, small, medium and large, through different combination of input and output, technology adopted, market captured, divisibility and indivisibility of factors, etc., that leads to different return and cost relationship such as increasing return, diminishing cost, constant return, constant cost, and diminishing return and increasing cost. Because of the presence of various economies and diseconomies of scale. It means when we are doing a production, this production process, whether it is a large scale or it is a small scale, that will generate a various types of economies. The scale of production will give two phases, that is economies and diseconomies. Economies. What is economies? Economy basically means the benefit. It is due to because of this benefit only the cost of producing the commodity get reduced. When initially when the producer is producing the goods and the services, in the initial level the output increases. Why it is increases? Due to because of the presence of various types of benefit that each and every organizations enjoy, and it is due to because of this benefit only the cost of producing the commodity per unit reduces. It means there is inverse relationship between the cost and the quantity produced. Higher if you are going to produce the commodity, lower will be the cost per unit of that commodity. That is why it is always said, do large scale production, do a bulk production. When you are doing a bulk production, the cost of producing the commodity get reduces. So basically we can say that the cost benefit that an organization might obtain over time by increasing its output is known as economies of scale. To put it into another way, the benefit the organization enjoy due to because of large scale of production. Nowadays, scale of production is increasing continuously, due to which the cost of production reduces because of the presence of various economies of scale. Economies of scale are nothing but the reduced cost per unit of goods that arises due to an increase in the production. That means when you are increasing more and more output, the cost per unit of producing that commodity get reduced. So there is an inverse relationship between the per unit fixed cost and the level of output. Higher will be the output, lower will be the per unit cost. Lower will be the output, higher will be the per unit cost. Higher the quantity produced, lower will be the per unit fixed cost of it. Average variable cost also reduces due to the benefit of large scale production. A firm can attain economies of scale by experiencing an increase in sales. Whenever the sales increases, definitely it is going to increase the production of the organization, and followed by reduction in the cost of producing that goods and services, that will generate the profit for the organization. That means all these components are interrelated to each other. What is diseconomies? Diseconomies is just opposite of economies. That means it arises due to, because of various discomfort the organization faces once the organization reaches to its optimum level of production. And if the organization continue to do the production, the diseconomy is more than the economies, and it will result in increase in the cost of producing the commodity. So, we can say that when an organization long term average cost rises, diseconomies of scale take place. That might occur if a company expands too much. In other words, the phenomena of diseconomies of scale result in higher production cost for goods and services by large firm. It means when the organization reaches to its optimum capacity of producing the goods, and if the organization continue with the production, instead of reducing the cost, it will increase. That means with every increase in output, the cost of producing the goods and services increases more than its output. So, we can say that this economies and diseconomies go side by side. Initially, every organization have economies. Due to this economies, the cost of producing the goods reduces. Once a time will come, this economies will exhausted and diseconomies will entered. That means diseconomies start where economies end. Various types of diseconomies. As you can see this slide, it is showing the two types of economy. The one is the internal economies and the other is the external economies. Why the internal economies arises? This internal economies arises due to because of various types of benefit that each and every organization have within it. That means these are technological economies, managerial economies, financial economies, market economies, risk distribution economies, commercial economies. That means all these benefits will all together help the particular firm to reduce its cost of production and increase the level of output. In the same manner, there are various external economies. These are the benefit that is not related to a particular firm, but these are the benefit that is for everyone. Any firm, any industry can avail this service and reduce the cost of producing the commodity. These are economies of concentration, economies of information, economies of expert service, economies of disintegration, economies of national importance. So, basically the economies is divided into two parts, internal and external. In internal there are various types of benefit, in external there are various types of benefit. So, these benefit ultimately reduces the cost of producing the commodity. One by one we are going to discuss. First is internal economies. internal economies are specific to an individual firm. That means this economies relates to a particular firm. For example, firm A has specific economies, firm B, firm C, firm D. That means there are 4 firms and every firm has its own internal economies. And the economies of one firm is totally different from the other firm. Just like the lifestyle of an individual is different from other firm. In the same manner, the internal economies of each and every firm is different from each other. Each firm has a capacity or technique to reduce its cost by optimum and better utilization of limited resources, thereby increasing the scale of production to its optimum level where per unit cost is minimum because of various internal economies of the individual firm. Each firm has its capacity, has talent, has resources. So, how an individual firm make maximum utilization of its limited resources for producing the maximum output, this is internal economies. And all this will result in providing the benefit to the organization. Internal economies increases the productivity and efficiency of a firm by reducing its per unit marginal and average cost. That means it is the responsibility of every individual firm to reduce its per unit cost, to reduce its marginal and average cost so as to increase the efficiency and productivity of the individual firm. So, we can basically say internal economies refers to the cost, benefit or cost reduction which a particular firm enjoy due to because of growth and expansion through large scale production. The first internal economies are technical or technological economies. Technology means the various techniques the firm enjoy, the firm use for producing the various goods and services. Because nowadays when the era is of technology, how efficiently every single firm making the best choice of technology to reduce the cost of producing the commodity is a good decision. There are various types of techniques and technologies available in the market, but you have to choose the best techniques for producing the goods which can give you a better return at a minimum cost. So, this is techniques, this is technology. Earlier everything was produced through handmade, labor made, but nowadays through various machines and techniques it is possible to complete a big task within a small span of time. So, this is technological economies. Economies of scale in marketing. These economies are related to purchase of raw material and sale of finished good. As you are producing the goods and services on a bulk, so you have to sell that goods and services to the ultimate consumer. So, when you are producing any commodity to its optimum capacity and when you actually spend your money in advertising the product, the cost of advertising per unit get reduced. That means with that cost only you are actually reaching a large number of consumers. You are making them aware that these are the products available in the market. When the consumer get the information, they will purchase your goods, the sales will increase, it will increase the production, it will increase the profit. Ultimately, large scale of production reduces the advertisement cost. That means the cost related in marketing the product, from producing the product to ultimately receiving in the end of the consumer. Financial economies of scale. Nowadays, it is very easy for a large scale organization to easily raise fund for various purposes from the market, because these firms are large and they enjoy production of large and they have a good credibility in the market. So all this, they can easily raise a market, they can easily raise the money from the market, and they continue with the production at a large scale, thereby reducing the cost of production and increasing the sale. That means financial economies are the economies which provide the financial assistance and help to the entrepreneur. Managerial economies of scale. It has been said that each and every organization is run and managed by the manager. It is the manager who actually plans for the business, who actually execute the various policies for the business. It is the manager who actually manage the entire working of the organization and get the work done from others. So when your production is at optimum level or below that optimum level, every manager is having the economies of talent, skill, creativity they are using to produce the goods and services on a bulk basis, how to cut the cost, how to minimize the cost so that the cost of selling the product is at the least cost and they can increase the profit for the organization. So this is the managerial benefit. That means there are various benefit of managers, their talent, their experience, advisor will reduce the cost of producing the commodity. Commercial economies. Commercial economy means, commercial means commerce. Commerce means buying and selling for the purpose of earning a profit. So when you are doing production on a large scale, definitely you will be demanding a large number of raw material, a bulk raw material. So it is easy to purchase a bulk material and to get a great discount for it. And when you get a great discount for it, that means the input cost is less, and with less input cost you are able to produce more commodity. Ultimately, it is reducing the cost per unit. So these are the benefit that is being enjoyed by each and every individual firm through its own effort, efficiency due to because of large scale production. Risk distribution economies. There is always an uncertainty about future, whether the incident will happen or not. So nowadays, instead of keeping all your money, investing all your money in producing a single commodity, it is better to manage your fund in such a manner it is invested in a number of goods and services so that the loss from one is going to be compensated from the profit of the other. So it is only due to because of the large scale production we are able to bifurcate our risk of uncertainty into various goods and services so that the loss can be minimized if there is loss from any one sector. So these are the benefits. It is because of these benefits every firm able to reduce the cost of producing the commodity by increasing the scale of production. If every individual firm manages all these elements effectively, definitely the firm will earn profit. External economies. External economies, these are also a benefit, but this benefit does not relate to a single firm, but this benefit relate to each and every firm operating in that area, each and every industry operating in that area. That means these benefits are for everyone. Everyone can avail its services. For example, the technological factors, social factor, cultural factors, legal factors, government policies, all are these what? These are external environment. You cannot control these external environment. In the same manner, there are various external benefits that is there in the market that does not relate to a particular firm. So anybody who is doing a business can get a better service by utilizing all these benefits. So external economies basically relates to the various benefit that arises to each and every firm working in the industry, through which the overall cost get reduced for the entire industry. Following are the various economies. The first is economies of concentration. What do you mean by economies? Concentration means each and every firm somewhere located in a particular area. For example, if the educational institution get concentrated to a particular place, automatically that area will get developed due to because of the various services that a student required. Maybe there will be a hostel facilities, the canteen facilities, the entertainment facilities, grocery, everything will be. In the same manner, if so many industries concentrated to a particular area, it automatically lead to the development of the various facilities. Because why the other facilities is there? Because definitely they will get a return, because people are there to avail their service. That is why concentration of industries leads to the concentration of various types of external economies in the form of transportation and communication benefits, availability of trained personnel, raw material, research inventions, financial assistance, banks, everything will get concentrated to at a particular place. Economies of information. If industry or firm get concentrated to a place, the information is not related to the specific firm, but these informations are useful to every firm. That means if the price of the raw material increases, so this information is available to each and everyone. If the price of the raw material reduces, if the price of the technology increases, if there is some changes in the government policy, if some changes in the taxation, if some rebates are given, if some transportation facilities are there. So this information is not related to the specific firm. These informations are related to every firm, to every industry. Whosoever get the information at a first end, they can avail the service and get a better return. So that means various types of informations regarding the market, raw material, techniques, technology, transportation, etc. are available to each and every firm working in that particular area. Economies of disintegration. The economies that emerge when organizations divide their operation into distinct processes are referred to as economies of disintegration. It means when an industry is large, So definitely the process is divided into various sub-units, and each firm somewhere specialized in producing that particular unit. So external economies leads to this integration, leads to division of the work into various small process. Maybe the byproduct of one industry becomes the raw material for the other industry. Economies of expert service, definitely centralization of firm exists at a particular place. The expert for every activities are also available there, and every firm can take help of this facility. That means when there is concentration or localization of an industry of a firm to a particular place, definitely there will be a need of various professional expertise and informations related. So all that is available to everyone, anybody can avail it. Economies of national importance. If any particular area is having a localization or concentration of so many industries, firms, definitely that area get importance in regard with GDP, in regard with increasing the national income. So this will automatically increase the national importance, because that is creating the employment, that is creating the goods and the services, that is creating the remuneration to various people, that will increase the standard living of the people. So ultimately, development of industry means development of area, means development of goods and services, increase the standard living, ultimately the national income of the economy get increase. So these were the economies, these were the benefits through which each and every firm benefits in the form of cost reduction and increased output, thereby increasing the profit. Various types of diseconomies. Again, it is of two types, internal and external. Internal diseconomies is related to the particular firm, whereas external diseconomies relate to each and every firm working in that area. Internal diseconomy is again of so many types: technical diseconomies, marketing diseconomies, financial diseconomies, managerial diseconomies. That means once your output reaches to its optimum level, once you have actually used the optimum capacity of every part, that is the technical, marketing, financial and managerial, if you still continue the production, this economies will definitely be converted into diseconomies. External diseconomies are again of so many types. Diseconomies related to the pollution, limitations of natural resources, infrastructure diseconomies, diseconomies of high factor prices. All this will increase the cost of producing the commodity by all the firm working in that area. Types of diseconomies. Internal diseconomies. Internal diseconomies are discomfort. It is being enjoyed or it is being suffered by the individual firm, and it differ from firm to firm, from producer to producer. Why this arises? Once the organization reaches to its optimum capacity of producing the goods, still if it continues with the level of production, definitely it will increase the cost of producing the commodity, thereby reducing the output, thereby reducing the profit. Internal diseconomies are, the first one is technical diseconomies. As I already told, in the economies, what is techniques? Techniques means techniques, technology through which you are producing the goods and services. So every techniques, every technology, every machine has maximum capacity. If you are using to its maximum capacity, it will give you a good return. But if you using the machine beyond its capacity, you cannot expect a good return from the machine. Rather, there will be a negative return, and which will increase the cost of producing the commodity. Second is marketing diseconomies. In the same manner, there is a limit till then you are going to enjoy the benefits of marketing in the form of reduced advertisement cost. But if you still continue with the level of production and you are doing the marketing and your product is no more demanded in the market, you are investing so many investment in doing the advertisement, definitely it is going to increase the cost of producing the commodity rather than reduction. Financial diseconomies, once you have reaches to its optimum level, you find it difficulty to raise a further capital from the market. And if you are unable to raise the capital from the market, your activity is going to be affected. So, financial assistance, financial help is also available to you at some level. If you are going to avail it from after a particular point of time, definitely this will give you a negative return in the form of increased cost. That means you will get a financial assistance, but at a increasing cost in the form of interest you have to pay to the various banks. Managerial economies. Managers are who? Who manages the company. If a person is given the responsibility to manage, a person will manage it efficiently to its optimum level. But if you expect a person to work continuously beyond its optimum capacity, definitely the efficiency of the person will get fall. And this will reflect in increased cost of the production. So, when a firm expands beyond a certain limit, it becomes difficult for the manager to manage it efficiently or to coordinate the process of production. As company gets bigger, bureaucracy or fine separation of managerial labor may lead to operational and coordination issue as well. Effective management of a large size company becomes increasingly challenging as it grows in size due to addition of layers upon layers of executives and administrator. External diseconomies. External diseconomy does not relate to a specific firm or a specific industry, rather it relates to every firm in all the industry. That means these are the discomfort which is going to be faced by every firm or every industry being located in a particular area, and ultimately it will increase the cost of producing the commodity. Diseconomies of pollution. As we know that if so many industries, so many firms get concentrated to a particular place, definitely there are industry, there are production, there are wastage. So, ultimately it is going to affect the environment. Ultimately it will create pollution in the environment. Directly it is not going to affect the industry, but indirectly it is affecting the human beings, and human beings are the valuable asset for any organization, because it is through the human being only the goods are being produced. So, this concentration will provide the pollution to each and every industries working in a particular area. Diseconomies of high factor prices. As every organization increasing the level of output, the resources are limited, everybody is demanding the same resources. So, ultimately the cost of factors of production increases. When the cost of factors of production itself increases, definitely the cost of producing the good will ultimately rise, thereby reducing the profit for the organization. Limitation of natural resources. nature has given us, but nature is limited. You cannot increase the supply of gift of nature. So you have to make the judicious and optimum use of the national resources. But if a firm continue doing production without thinking, that means the natural resources itself become limited and you are unable to produce the goods and services. And if you can harness it, you have to pay a high cost for it. Infrastructural diseconomies. These diseconomies happen when businesses grow to the point that they strain the community infrastructure. The localization of an industry put excessive pressure on transportation facility in the region. As a result of this, the transportation of raw material and finished good gets delayed. As a result of the strain on infrastructure, monetary as well as real cost of production rises. That means so many industries at a one place, all are going to demand the various services in the form of transportation. So everybody is demanding, so too much pressure is there. Definitely the goods will be delayed, ultimately reaching to the customer, because everybody is demanding the facilities of transport for transferring the goods from the producer to the consumer. So these are the various diseconomies, internal and external. So in today's lecture, we have discussed in detail about the economies and diseconomies. It is a very important concept because presence of economies will decide your production, your cost of production, your profit, how effectively you can reduce the cost and increase the profit. It is due to because of economies. But once you are optimum level, if you continue with the level of production, definitely a time will come when the economies get exhausted and diseconomies will arise. And due to because of this diseconomies, your cost of producing the commodity will get high and it will affect your overall profit. So it is advisable to choose an optimum level where your economies and diseconomies will give you the maximum output. So thank you learners for today's sessions. We have completed with the module 6, in which we have discussed in detail the productions, the theory of productions, economies and diseconomies of scale. Thank you for today's session. Hope you meeting again. Thank you.